Hey there, everyone. It is Frankie Joel here, and I'm so excited to present this month's Techinar and talk to you all about how to leverage ChatGPT, which has been hitting the nation by storm, and how to leverage it in your business. So, how to leverage ChatGPT, we're going to be talking about all things in this webinar about how to create social media content, newsletter content, blog content, scripts, emails, all these different things that you can use ChatGPT for, but how to use it effectively in your business. We're going to kind of dive deep in how to work the tool, how to get started using it, what to ask it, what is a prompt, how do you access ChatGPT. All of that is encompassed here in this webinar. But I first want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know as real estate professionals, we're all super busy, and setting down to take education and time for ourselves is sometimes difficult. So thank you for investing in your business and investing in your time into this webinar. So grab a pen and paper, take some notes, make sure you're watching because we're going to kind of do some live driving of ChatGPT. We're going to work on some active prompts to ask the system, and that way you guys can see the whole in-depth look of how to actually use the system. So when we're talking about ChatGPT, people always ask like, hey, this has been hitting social media. Everyone's talking about ChatGPT, but some of you may not know what ChatGPT is. And basically, ChatGPT is an artificial intelligence engine that kind of has human characteristics that you can actually type and have a conversation with. So you can actually type into ChatGPT, ask it to do something for you, ask it to write something, ask it to modify something, ask it a question, and it's going to scour its sources as well as its centralized knowledge base, kind of just like a human brain, but a technology aspect, and kind of pull all that information into one centralized location for you. You ask it a prompt. So basically, you ask it a question or you ask it to do something, and that's what it's going to go out, search, and put together the information for. A few things about ChatGPT. ChatGPT personally has made my business more productive, more effective. I would say anywhere between 3 to 5 times more productive on specific tasks just by being able to leverage it. So I'm not a fantastic writer, and I'm not going to hide behind that. I am not a fantastic writer. What ChatGPT allows me to do is kind of start with a centralized base, take my information, put it in there, and it's going to generate and leverage its artificial intelligence, its knowledge base, and expand on my writings. There's a ton of information as far as what we're going to cover in this webinar, but it allows me to kind of build creative social media campaigns based on ideas that I have. I've even been able to take information and have it write me formulas to put into an Excel file. So if you ever tried to write a formula for an Excel file, that is not my wheelhouse. Not going to even say it's my wheelhouse, but you're able to take the information based on its super intuitive knowledge base and have it perform for you in your business. So it's one of those tools that took the nation by storm. It literally within a few days of its launch had millions of users on it, and it's because it's super cool. It helps you become more effective, and it allows you to leverage tools and resources. Effective delegation. It allows you to effectively delegate things to a artificial intelligence engine to help you become more productive and more active in your business. So let's go ahead and dive into how to access ChatGPT, what it is, and then dive into some of the things that I'm personally using it for. So, how exactly do you access? How do you get to ChatGPT? Things like that. So, what you do is you go to openai.com/blog/ChatGPT. What that's going to do is it's going to bring you to a website that looks exactly like this. And you're going to see that there's a pink button down here that says Try ChatGPT. So when you're on the Chat GPT, when you click that button, it's going to bring you directly to a sign up screen if you've never signed up before. So you're going to sign up for a free account. You're going to get your login information, verify your account, and then you'll have access to ChatGPT. Now, one thing with ChatGPT is they have a free version and a paid version. Their paid version, it ranges between $20 to $30 per month, depending on the plan. And what that does is allows you kind of like premium access, basically where you don't have to wait in a queue or a virtual line in order to get access to the platform. One thing to note with ChatGPT is there are millions upon millions of people trying to access it on a daily basis to use in their work, to use in their businesses and things like that. So you definitely want to make sure that, if you're going to fully implement ChatGPT, maybe look at using the paid platform, but you can definitely get away with using the free platform as well. Completely your choice. But like I said, hit the Try ChatGPT button. It's going to bring you in to set up your account. From there, you'll have access to the actual chat bot chat platform through ChatGPT. So how exactly do you use ChatGPT? So ChatGPT is basically a artificial intelligence language system. Basically, you ask it a prompt and it comes back with a response for you. It's just like having open conversation, open dialogue with a human basically, but you're doing it with a computer. So when you're on the ChatGPT section of the website where you actually have your screen looks like this and you can chat, what you're going to do is you're going to notice there's a new chat button up top. You can click on new chat and it's going to pull up a screen that looks similar to this. Then you're going to see at the bottom, it's just like a Facebook Messenger or anything like that, where you can actually send a message. So your messages are your prompts, basically. What you need to do is come up with a message that is going to get the system to do something for you. So you have to kind of word it in things like write a first time home buyer's blog post for me, referencing this information. Or write a home buyer's guide for moving to Ocala, Florida. Go in depth. Add things such as favorite restaurants, local recommendations, shopping, festivals, things like that. The more information you give the system, the better off you're going to be. Definitely make sure when you're doing your prompts that you're asking it to do something. You can have full blown conversations. I've done that before. You can have conversations, you can ask it to write you a story, things like that. But if you're leveraging it for business, definitely make sure you give it as much information as possible. That way it has something to go off of. So I'm going to just type in a prompt here. So write a blog post about living in Ocala, Florida. Mention horses and local events and festivals. You can even ask it things such as like write it in a specific tone, write it from the perspective of a local real estate agent, and mention the housing. And I simply put in my prompt, it's going to give me a bunch of information right there. You're going to notice that it's starting to do its work, it's pulling things, piecing it together, writing the blog post for me. I asked it to write it from the perspective of a local real estate agent and mention the housing market. So, a few things about the blog post. It's going to give me a title. So I can just take this title and I have a title for my blog post now. You're going to have the introduction section and then it's going to break down some things in here for you. So like this particular one, it's mentioning that it's the equestrian capital of the world. It's mentioning local events and festivals, talking about the housing markets and having an end. So you can take this information, utilize it as a blog post, obviously go through and verify things, make sure it's correct, make sure you have all the information in there that you want, make sure when it's talking about the housing market that you're comfortable with the information that it says, things like that. Because you always have to remember it's a system helping you. It's not designed to completely replace you or replace the human element. It's just designed to help get things started and become more productive. So definitely take a look at it. You can take the information, make some modifications, obviously, so it sounds like it's written from you. The other kind of interesting thing that I enjoy about ChatGPT is you can actually say, write it from the I personality, utilizing the DISC personality profile. And it will actually write it based on personality trends and things like that. So if they're an I type personality, you can actually utilize the system based on its research and based on its knowledge to actually write it differently, to use it from the perspective of a high I personality type, which is super cool. So, from the listing perspective, listing description perspective, utilizing ChatGPT is going to help you enhance your writing. Basically, what I always say is kind of start the description yourself because you're going to have more and more information than the system's actually going to have about that specific listing. So, start your description yourself. So, what you're seeing here on the screen is an existing listing that one of our agents has listed. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take their existing listing plus a little bit more information and tell ChatGPT to rewrite the listing description. What ChatGPT is going to do is it's going to take all the information that we provided, pull in from some other sources and kind of expand the description, rewrite it in another way. That way you can kind of look at it and see, okay, does your particular description work well, or maybe the other description? So let me go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna start writing my prompt. So rewrite this listing description for a home for sale at some property address. Here is the existing description. Come in here, I'm gonna pull in that listing description for me. And you scroll down through, see if there's any other information that you may potentially need. If you don't need any information, you can simply come back to your prompt, click the send button, and it's going to rewrite the description for you. Now, obviously, this is going to be a longer description. You really don't need this long of a description to put into a listing. But if you're doing like a social media post or something like that, you can absolutely do that for your listing description. But if you notice, I took my short description, elongated it out, added in some key trigger words for people and things like that, things that are known to get people to react to specific listings. Now I'm going to ask it to write a shortened, condensed version. So it's going to write me a shorter, condensed version. Obviously, take the shorter, condensed version, put some things together. As you kind of see, with ChatGPT, it's going to get you 70 to 80% of the way there. You still have to go in and make some modifications yourself. It's not going to replace you. It's not designed to do that. It's simply designed to make you more productive. So that way, you can get a start on a base here. You can even, the kind of cool thing is like while you're doing your prompts, you can say, okay, so write a social media marketing campaign for this listing. Include ad copy. So ad copy is like the information, like your actual caption and description and things like that. So it'll actually write your social media post, same thing. Like if you're already in here doing your description, might as well go ahead and get it to do the other specific prompts that you want it to do. That way you have everything all in one place. Write a newsletter article on this listing. And take the same thing. Maybe if you write a monthly newsletter or a weekly newsletter, you're going to be able to pull that information right from there as well. Maybe you're going to blog about it. So write a blog post about this listing. So you're going to see it's going to have all of the information listed right on out. It's going to take all that information, put it in there for you. Maybe you even want to do a phone call script. So write a phone call script to potential buyers about this listing. There's so many different things you can do based on just one particular prompt. You can ask it so many things. You can even say, okay, so here's some information. Like here's your script that it's writing. It's writing your entire phone script for you at this moment. You could even say something, maybe, write a text message campaign to your database about this property. So it's going to write you a couple different messages that you can send out, maybe via text message, things like that. So there's a ton of different things. You just have to get a little creative. But look, so I did my one prompt, got my description, got my social media campaign, got my newsletter, my blog article about this listing. I got a phone script that I can keep on file. I did a text message campaign. The opportunities are completely endless. You can even say, okay, write a video script for this listing. So now it's going to write my video script. It's even going to tell me what images and stuff I need to shoot. So it's going to say like opening scene, aerial view of the property, transition to interior shots showing living room, dining room, kitchen, things like that. So it's going to kind of allow you that opportunity, all just based on my one initial prompt up top. So my one initial prompt was like, write my listing description. Then I'm going to be able to go through and pull all my stuff, writing a condensed version, writing social media ad copy, writing a newsletter article, writing a blog post, writing a phone script, writing a text message script, writing a video script. So it's all done for me. Like I said at the beginning of this webinar, it's all about making yourself more productive. So you're doing the job once, and the system is helping you generate other pieces of content and other pillar pieces of information for what you're trying to do and accomplish. ChatGPT is perfect for writing emails as well. If you're not the best email writer, as long as you start with a basis, you're able to have ChatGPT write emails for you. Kind of a few examples I kind of want to show off real quick is write an email to my database about why they should use me as their realtor. With a local. I'm going to ask it to actually do this. I'm going to ask it to write 3 emails. That way I have multiple copy to look at. So you can see, write 3 emails to my database about why they should use me as their local Citrus County realtor. Subject line is here, your trusted local Citrus County realtor, and it's going to have some information. So definitely read through it, make sure it's accurate with everything you're doing. You're not portraying yourself differently than you actually are. But you can see it's generating email 1 for me. It generated email 2. It's going to continue generating. And you're going to see there's email 2. Here's email 3. There's going to be some different copies, and they're changing and tweaking the words and things like that. So I always ask the system usually to do multiple copies. That way I can look at them and say, okay, maybe I liked this one from this email and I liked this one from that email, and I can piece it all together. You can actually just copy and paste out of the system. So you can just copy all this information. I always copy and paste, and I put it into Microsoft Word. That way I can go through and kind of make my own modifications, because I definitely modify things that come out of the system, because sometimes, it may not be 100% accurate information, or maybe I do something differently that makes me unique. So I'm going to make those modifications and those adjustments. But you can see you've got 3 different email copies right here. And this one, all I did was ask it to write 3 emails to my database about why they should use me as their local real estate agent. You can ask it for things, write an email to a home buyer when their contract they submitted was accepted by the seller. You can see subject, congratulations, your contract has been accepted, and then it's going to list out some information. So we're excited to tell you this exciting news. Your contract has been accepted by the seller. So you kind of create that communication between the seller, the buyer, and yourself. Super great. Like I said, make sure verify everything here is accurate based on the particular scenario, but it's helping you start and build out your email templates and things like that for the transaction. You should have email templates for everything. Under contract, confirming a showing tomorrow. Maybe you should have an offer email to sellers. Anything you can think of during the process of a real estate transaction, you should have some form of a template in your emails. That way you have this to access. And it could be anything you can think of, like, hey, we passed inspection, or hey, here's the inspection report for us to review, things like that. The more open and transparent communication with a home buyer or home seller, the more value they're going to feel from you as their real estate agent. And ChatGPT can help you write those words. Because listen, I'm not a wordsmith. I'm not saying I'm a wordsmith or anything like that. This allows me to become a wordsmith and make my own modifications to the system. Then you're gonna, let's say, another email template. Let's write one for that the listing is active online. So write an email to a home seller that their listing is now active in the MLS and online for view to all home buyers. And I also put the perspective of like, this is from their real estate agent. Because sometimes you'll learn, sometimes ChatGPT won't exactly know what perspective to write it from. So they'll write it from one perspective and then you have to ask it to change it. So I just said, hey, this is from their real estate agent. So it's going to say, it's going to pull up everything here. So, hey, your listing is now active. And then it's funny because like it actually includes some personality. So get ready for potential buyers. So it's going to have some information listed out here. That way you can just take this email and you can send this to your sellers. Absolutely make sure you modify it that it's accurate with all the information. But it's really cool how the system and technology has evolved where we can get these templates done really quick for ourselves. That way we're not having to sit out here and write it. Because I can tell you this, if I had to write that particular email right there, it could take me 30, maybe even 40 minutes to do it. Then I have to go through modifications and editings and things like that. Versus I asked an AI system to write it for me, it's within a matter of seconds that I can go through and make my different modifications. From the email template perspective, you can ask it to do anything. Oftentimes, I'll take an email and I'll write an email in like my Gmail account or whatever I'm using. I'll write it, then I'll ask ChatGPT to reword it or rewrite it. It's amazing how it can change the perspective of an email just in a couple simple things. So I literally just copy and paste it into the thing and say, rewrite this email. Copy and paste it right there in the system. When it rewrites it in a much better perspective. It cleans up grammar, maybe if there's a run-on sentence or anything like that. And it's kind of cool how it does it. It's super cool to watch. You'll have to take one and kind of mess with it to kind of see the example there. So I see ChatGPT as a perfect tool for generating social media content. And the reason is because it kind of helps and assists you through the process. So I always like to kind of start with it as a basis and say, write 15 social media posts for a real estate agent servicing the Citrus County, Florida markets. And I go ahead and trigger ChatGPT to start its work. So once it starts its work, what you can kind of do is see some different ways that it's going to create some content. It's going to create a bunch of content for you, which is super awesome. So you can actually create these into multiple different social media posts. Now, ChatGPT is only creating the ad copy. It's not creating the tangible graphic for it. So obviously either you need to do a graphic or a video or something along those lines, but ChatGPT is going to get you a majority of the way there, which is what I love about it. So you can see I can take like this one. So have you heard of the incredible beauty of Citrus County, Florida? From crystal clear springs to scenic hiking trails, this is the perfect place to call home and your slice of paradise. So I can take this actual, social media description or caption basically and create a video from that. So I could create a video or I could create a graphic to publish with that. So it's super easy to do. Like literally it took a matter of seconds. Now I just have to create the content behind it, because usually it's the ideas of getting the content. So figuring out what ideas to use, what to write, what to post, this will help you with that. It even puts hashtags in here for you. So it puts in your hashtags and things like that. You can even say, okay, maybe we want to do this. Are you considering downsize? So write a social media ad for this information. You can see like I actually took it and now I'm like expanding a little bit further. So I've got the generic caption up top that I took, but I took the one about downsizing. So are you considering downsizing? Citrus County offers a variety of cozy and low maintenance properties that are perfect for those looking to simplify their lives. So I took that one and said, hey, write social media, like basically write a social media post for this information. So it took it downsizing made easy in Citrus County and it took some information and has all the information listed out there. So I can actually have a full blown post. So it's important that you kind of like, yes, get your captions, but you can also ask it to kind of rewrite things in a more expanded social media post. The other thing I can do is actually say, okay, now write a short video script or write a TikTok script for that ad. I have a short little script written for TikTok. The cool thing is the platform here kind of knows about each specific platform and how long they should be, what performs well, and things like that, which is super cool based on its research engine. So you can actually come in here, pull in that information like we did here. Now I could say, now write a blog post on that content. Now I have a blog post. So now I have multiple different facets of social media content and whatever I may need for that particular thing that I'm working on. So you can kind of expand it there. There's a ton of different options, like I said, when it comes to this. Has all the information there. It allows you to kind of build your social media campaigns easy and effectively using ChatGPT. Like I said, this literally took what, maybe a few minutes. And now I've got some captions. I took one and went in depth, and I have my actual full post. I have a TikTok script to do a TikTok video real quick. And I also have a blog post content. Maybe you wanted it as a newsletter. So now write a newsletter. Go about it. Make it short and personable. So now it's writing newsletter content, or this could be an email, a text campaign. Write a email campaign to a database about it. Now it's going to write some multiple different email campaigns that it can send out to my specific database on that topic. So kind of throughout the webinar today, I've been talking about, blog and newsletter content and things like that. So I figured I would kind of piece that together so you can kind of see it all in one section. Basically, ChatGPT helps you write those articles to be more effective, as well as kind of get you on a base started. It does some of the research, brings that in there. So I want to kind of cover a few things. So for where I'm located, you kind of notice I've used Citrus County, Florida a lot, because that's my local market. So I know the accurate information about that market. But I could literally say, okay, maybe if I'm an agent in Nashville, so I could say, write a blog article about living in Nashville, Tennessee. Mention, um, let's see, let's do this. Mention places where the locals to hang out. So it's going to kind of write that information out for me. Obviously, you want to kind of verify that information, but if you live in that specific market, you'd kind of know some of the information based on where you're at. But you can see it's writing those blog articles for you, having all the information listed out there, has some information in there, even puts in specific restaurants, bars, and recommendations. Maybe you want to do write a newsletter about living in, let's say, Highlands, North Carolina. I always say, like, this is being sent from a local real estate agent. So it's gonna have all that information listed out. It's like this one says, as your trusted local real estate agent, I'm delighted to share with you the wonders of Highlands, North Carolina. So this could be sent to maybe an out of towner or somebody that doesn't live in the local area that you know based on your database or based on social media, things like that. Super kind of cool and super trendy. You could even say, rewrite that using a fun and personable approach. So now it's going to tweak those words based on the different tones. You can ask it to write it in any tone you want. Maybe you want it in first person, second person, third person point of view. Maybe you want it fun. Maybe you want it professional. Maybe you want it add in puns. So you could even say add in a few jokes and puns. It will actually rewrite it and add in some of those things. And it's all just based on what you tell the system to do. Like I said, the more information you give it, the better off you're going to be. The more information you kind of add in, the more things you ask it, the more tweaks you make, the better off your content coming out of here is going to be. But literally, you could even say, okay, write a blog article on leadership. Or you could even say it like this. Let's do this. Let's do employment. Okay, maybe this is something you add to your website. Write a blog article on employment opportunities in Atlanta, Georgia. That way it's going to kind of generate it. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to think. Remember, we're dealing with a computer. So this is a perfect example. Okay, the system's thinking, the system's thinking, the system's thinking. Sometimes it doesn't go as fast, but now it's generating. So you got to give it some time. So it's writing and kind of pulling information. This one's moving a little bit slower than usual, but that's because it's going in and actually pulling in pertinent details, things that it's searching the internet for, things that it's searching its backend knowledge base for. So we're gonna let that generate for a couple seconds. I think we stumped it a little bit on that prompt. I think that it is definitely diving deeper than it usually does to find information about that as well, which is a super cool thing to kind of sit here and watch this firsthand. Because if you think about it, it's kind of like a human. So it's kind of digging into its knowledge base, digging into its other resources to try to find the information. But as you can see, it's working. It's digging into the different things, visiting that area of Georgia. You kind of already know some of these things, that it's a corporate, it's tech and innovation, things like that. So it's definitely diving deep, which is really cool. It pulled out specific companies mentioned. So, if someone's searching for those companies and you post it on your blog, you have the potential to be discovered as well based on how Google and things like that search. Tons of great information here. Definitely kind of cool. I'm gonna let that one kind of finish up prompting, but you have so many opportunities with it writing content for you. Obviously, as always, verify the information, rewrite some of it, but it allows you to get the basis started. It allows you to start your mind going through content. I mean, there's times that I will literally sit at my desk and write prompts out because I'm like, oh, this would be a really good prompt. Or maybe ChatGPT can come up with some content for whatever I'm trying to write about, or thinking about, okay, here's a new prompt. And you'll see, like, I literally have sticky notes all over my desk. I've actually put a notepad next to my bed now, that way, like, if I think of something for maybe a social media campaign or a newsletter article or anything like that, I have access to those prompts that are pre-written for me now. So you can see, like, there's a great article. This one is really in depth. It pulled a bunch of information, um, and kind of listed it out. You kind of saw as we went, and it's a great article. Just go through, verify information, reread it. Obviously, if that's your local marketplace. So ChatGPT will actually help you write scripts. So if you like using scripts in your business and maybe want some new, fresh, updated ones, ChatGPT will help you. I always say there's three different categories when we're talking about scripts, and you've got your on the phone, your in person, and then your video scripts. So we're gonna kind of roll through each of them. But basically, as a phone script, I'm gonna just type in a prompt here that says, write a phone script for a real estate agent looking for listings in the Black Diamond subdivision in Lecanto, Florida. I do scripts, right? Phone scripts. So it's going to write me multiple different um, phone scripts here. So you can see like it's writing it out. What would sometimes, what would the homeowner say? What would the agent say? Things like that. So it's going to list them all out here. We're going to take a look at them after the system kind of generates it. Let's see. So here's a great one. Like this one, they're calling building urgency. So, hey, is this homeowner name? I'm an agent from XYZ Realty. I noticed that the market in the Black Diamond subdivision is really heating up and there's a limited inventory of homes for sale. Are you considering selling your home? This one says, yes, I've been thinking about it. What's happening with the market? So it's kind of giving some descriptions. This is where you would obviously come back and make some edits, add in some of your own market statistics and things like that. So it's kind of got that great basis for you to kind of look at things. I would also kind of come in here and potentially write a few scripts with objections and how to handle them. Here's one. So, like, here's a great one. So it says, homeowner, I've thought about it, but I'm concerned about the market value. I don't want to sell for less than my home is worth. So it's actually taking some objection handling as well. So this is a great opportunity for you to kind of work on your objection handling for prospecting for clients and things like that. Looking at that. Maybe it's a timing objection. So here's one. So kind of think back through the transactions that you've done and the prospects you've reached out to and think about your different objections. You can actually ask this. Not that this is the end all be all, but this may help you through your training process of looking at different objections. So here's some objections, overcoming skepticism, things like that. So there's definitely, like this one's like, homeowner, I get calls like this all the time. What makes you different? And it kind of, you've got some different things in here. Here's a great one right there. So definitely look at this from a perspective of not only generating things for you to use, but also generating it for training purposes. Like these are great objection handlings that are in here. So definitely do that. Then there's also the script side of in person. So write a script for a real estate agent door knocking in the Citrus Hills subdivision. So now this is where we kind of get into the system. Really, I didn't write enough specific details. So you can see this is written as like a movie script or a actor script. And that's because I did not write the prompt properly. So sometimes things like this happen. That's fine. Just start a new chat and I'm going to say, write a prospecting for a real estate agent to use door knocking. See, so now it's written as a script that you can actually use tangibly. And it's all based on like the first one was written as if it was a movie. The second one was written because I revised it. So I said, write a prospecting script for a real estate agent to use door knocking in the Citrus Hill subdivision. Versus the other one, I just said, write a script for a real estate door knocking in the Citrus Hill subdivision. So I kind of tweaked my words a little bit to get a more descriptive prompt, and I got a better one right there. So it's got some information, things like that, right there and there. So that's kind of like your in-person one. Maybe you need one for, so write a script for a real estate agent to use when discussing a price reduction in person with a seller. So write a script for a real estate agent to use when discussing a price reduction in person with a seller. It's going to list all of that information out. That way you kind of can look through it. You can even say, okay, we'll give the objection of it's not what we want, or the net just isn't there what we need. So you can definitely look at those different things. Like this one says, okay, like here's an objection, how will this price reduction affect my overall profit? So you're going to see all the different information listed out there. So definitely look at these for the script purposes of in person as well. Maybe it's for recruiting an agent, maybe it's for buyers, maybe it's for sellers, things like that. Then I want you to look at it from the perspective of video scripts. So write a video script for a real estate agent to use for generating listings in today's market. So it's going to actually give you a title to use on social media and things like that. And then it's going to say, have your script right there for you. You can see there's a few different things that actually broke it into different sections for you. So it broke it into preparing your home for sale, pricing your home right, effective marketing, targeted advertising, expert negotiations. So it actually has all of that script information in there for you. You can take this, customize it for whatever you need, but it's building those scripts. Maybe you wanted to write a video script about the process of selling your home. Do a little bit of thinking, the journey of selling your home, a step-by-step guide. And it's going to have all of the stuff that you would need to do. It's going to tell you your shots to do. Super effective. So if you ever said like, hey, I don't know what to do a video about, take some of your social media content ideas that ChatGPT generated for you, generate your scripts. It tells you what shots you need to do, shoot the videos, edit them together, and now you have super effective social media campaigns. So you can never say that you don't have enough content or enough ideas to generate social media, because here's the deal. It's doing it for you. It's generating exactly what you need and exactly what the consumer needs to hear at that moment to give you that educational aspect of content. So definitely, like I said, you have 3 different options of scripting for an agent. You have your perspective online, you have your in person, and then you have your video scripts. So you have those options to kind of go through, use those script options, go through here. Like I said, you can ask it to rewrite it. So if you don't like a specific thing, say, hey, rewrite this prompt or rewrite this with utilizing this specific language. You can definitely feed this system whatever you need. But also, you can effectively use it for writing. Like you can have it rewrite things, reword things, however you want to do it. One that I have recently kind of stumbled upon is taking real estate agents' bios, putting them into ChatGPT, and telling them to rewrite them effectively for a real estate agent. So I'm going to go ahead and pull in a bio of an agent. Let me go ahead and pull in their bio, bring it over into ChatGPT, and I'm going to write my prompt. So rewrite this real estate agent's bio. Oh, hold on. Said rewrite this. So I just generated a prompt, but let me do this. Rewrite this real estate agent's bio to help with effective generation. Went to paste in their bio, put it in there. So it's taking Cindy's actual bio. So Cindy's bio is listed, but I asked it to rewrite this real estate agent's bio to help with effective lead generation from it. So you're going to see that it took the existing bio and kind of expanded it further. Expanded it out, introducing her as your Exit Realty trusted professional and advisor in the home buying, selling, and investing process. With a proven track record and extensive experience, um, Cindy is the key to unlocking your real estate dreams. Talks about her background, brings it in there, kind of expands on the background as well. Like, managed over 300 transactions per year as a transaction coordinator, so she's no stranger to the complexities of the real estate world. Kind of shows you all the different information listed out there. Pulled in some information from her bio that was listed. Has information about the specific local area that she's in. And it just kind of becomes a more effective situation off of the bio. You could say, rewrite this, rewrite this bio, mentioning, mentioning the local Citrus County markets. So you could say, like, and I'll just list out some of our town names here. Still River. I was going to rewrite it mentioning the local markets. So you're going to have some information. You can see like your go-to expert lists them out in her bio, kind of creates those edits. So it's super effective for that, taking that, rewriting the bios to be more effective. Let's say rewrite bio to be more SEO. I'm going to say go ahead and rewrite the bio and add more SEO. So basically, SEO is search engine optimization. So it's kind of looking at the different things that are in the bio, increasing them, tweaking them to be more search engine optimized for when people are searching, that it actually shows up in the search results. So you can do that. You can definitely use a basis. So if you start, just write your bio in a couple paragraphs, have it rewrite it. Or you can kind of give it a look at your resume and kind of have bullet points. There's that option as well. Kind of bullet point out your different experience, different things you kind of want to mention and say, write my bio. It does that. It's super cool, super effective. One of the things I always see real estate agents struggle with is writing about themselves. So if you list it out in bullet points, have the system write it for you. It becomes more effective. Definitely make sure that you update all of your profiles. Then once you have your bio written, update all your profiles. Your Realtor.com, Trulia's, Zillow's, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is, have it rewrite it. I could even say, let's say, write a bio for Instagram using the existing bio. You can see now it just wrote a quick little Instagram bio. Now I'll tell you this does not fit in an Instagram bio. So the system really didn't understand what I was looking for, but it actually just wrote a little like, hey, introduce yourself on Instagram. So hey, these are some information about me. Here is a great different little one that you could actually put in here. So you could write a social media content post. So although it didn't give me the correct prompt that I asked for, it gave me a great social media post that I can actually take that, post on social media and say, introducing me, or something like that. So Cindy could take this post, say, hey, here's some information about me, or hey, introducing your local real estate agent, little snapshot of things right there in the system that they can copy and paste. So ultimately, you have seen an in-depth look at ChatGPT, how it can help you in your real estate business, but we basically just glazed the surface. There is so many more opportunities for you to use ChatGPT in your business. You can definitely, you have to get in there and play around with the system. Ask it prompts. Think about things that you do in your business on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. How can you evolve it? I always like to see ChatGPT as an extension of me within my business. It allows me to kind of delegate things without having to pay a personal assistant to delegate specific tasks, and it allows me to be more productive. The whole idea behind ChatGPT is to be more productive, more efficient in your processes. Honestly, I would say it's probably made myself, at least depending on whatever I'm working on and depending on the project, sometimes 3 to 5 times more productive than I usually am, because I'm able to generate these things out super quick. So if I need social media campaigns, I say, hey, this is some of the content that I'm working on. Create a social media campaign mentioning X, Y, and Z. And it's generating me out multiple captions that I can pass on to my team and what other information I need. Super cool. More effective, more efficient. That's basically, and more productive. That's what the system is designed to do. I want to kind of remember and remind you that this is designed to assist you and not replace you. This is designed to assist you and not replace you, not replace individuals on your team. This is to kind of help become more productive and more efficient. So if you like are working on a home buyer's guide, hey, you could say, hey, generate information to place in our home buyer's guide for our office. So it's going to kind of help those people. The other thing, I always want you to remember this as well. ChatGPT is a computer-based system. It's a computer basically that you're working back and forth with. So you need to always trust but verify the information. Always verify the accuracy of everything that you're kind of seeing come across. It's pulling from multiple sources. It's pulling from its central knowledge. So you definitely need to make sure that before you post anything on social media, publish any of the content generated from there, use any of the emails, that you're verifying everything that's listed in there. You don't want to get yourself into a situation where you're posting something thinking it's 100% accurate and it's not. So definitely make sure. ChatGPT even has like a little disclaimer at the bottom of every single kind of prompt section when you go to write your messaging that says like, hey, it may produce inaccurate information, so make sure that you're verifying all of that, because ultimately, like I said, it's a computer you're working back and forth with. It may seem superhuman at this point because the way that it talks, the way that it sends back, the way that it writes, but you always have to remember that it is a computer on the back end. So definitely take it into your business. Look to see how you can kind of maybe move some things over to it, as far as some of your emails go, working on those campaigns, rewriting some of your campaigns in your CRM system, maybe having, if you have a personal assistant or an office administrator that you work closely with, maybe having them work with it as well. That way they get comfortable with it. But it's one of those tools that we're kind of moving into that artificial intelligence AI world, that this is super effective. Always remember as well, there's millions and millions of people using it. So don't just always assume that anything on the internet can be copied and pasted for copyright reasons. Ask if you're going to borrow something from someone. But the way that this is working and shaping, it's shaping the industry, it's shaping the world on how things are done. People are becoming more effective. You're getting a better work-life balance based on implementing AI in. But don't always 100% use it for your business. There's always got to be that personal human touch, that personal human element behind the business. We are a relational business, not a transactional business. So you definitely have to use the relational side of things. And that's something that a computer can never do. It can never do that relational side of things. It can help and assist, but it cannot ever replace the human and relationship behind the transaction. I hope you got some great information from the ChatGPT webinar today. We kind of wanted to just show off the back end of ChatGPT, what it can do. And like I said, we barely touched the surface. There is still so much for you to dive deep in, explore the tool. It's just helped me become more effective in what I do, helped me write things, word things more effectively, generate content more effectively. So we wanted to share that with you so you can definitely implement it into your business. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to reach out. And I look forward to seeing you all real soon. Bye for now. Happy selling and have a great rest of your day.